Hi, today I would like to talk about what scalar harmonization is. And I could only speak about it from my own perspective, my own experience, working with myself and working with clients. So, scalar harmonization basically is something that unfolds with time, but the main thing, I mean, there are many aspects, but the main thing I feel like I need to have people understand is that what is being used to return a person back to their original health, original original blueprint, um, what is being reflected to them. Obviously, not in a physical sense. Let's say on a metaphysical sense. Or whatever words you want to use the to speak about the unseen level, the workings behind physical reality. So the way scalar harmonization works is what is reflected to an individual is their own original blueprint that they were born with. So let's say a person has some kind of disorder, some kind of issue with their health. What I'm doing is I am reflecting, again, not on a physical level, obviously. I am reflecting to them their original state. And the body then has the framework to work with to heal itself. So it isn't like pressing a button. I mean, I feel like it should be understood that I don't know anything that in the world, realistically speaking, at least right now anyway, that works like this. Um, Even though there is an aspect of what I do for people kind of sort of can work like that, but I don't want to give any false hope to anybody, because in my opinion it's just there is no such thing as that, at least as far as I know at this point in time. So we have our original state, right? The state, let's say that our DNA says this is what we are, right? And we're in this world. Let's say it's a world of things just being kind of like just we know the world we live in. So we have that outer influence clog up our flow, I guess is how I could put it. Get us out of our natural state, and therefore disease, as in lack of ease, right? That comes from the world we live in. And again, what I'm doing is I'm introducing something to a person's system that's basically, for lack of better wording, is a mirror of their original state. And through time, they find healing. Again, it just doesn't work like this. I'm sorry. But there is an aspect where I also ask. So I work with through my monad. Before, I used to kind of work with a little bit more. When I say more, I don't mean like better. I just mean that was just my process. Right now, I'm just strictly working only with my monad. So the monad is the one that mirrors a person's blueprint back to them. So the second thing I could do for somebody, depending on, if somebody comes to me and they need immediate assistance, and in that I do something a little extra. I guess I could call it, I mean, it is called that, but I feel like it's weird to say, but I'll do it anyway. I provide monadic breath for somebody that is kind of more of an emergency. Monadic breath, what it basically is, it's kind of bringing or breathing life force back into an individual. So if somebody's really, really struggling, they kind of need a little bit of extra assistance, and that's when I will include monadic breath in my sessions. But usually the way I try to work with strictly is just the mirroring aspect. And it is over time that your body, now that it is not any longer influenced by, let's call them distortions in our world, the body's able to get back to its natural state, its equilibrium, its balance, and that is basically how I would describe scalar harmonization. And it doesn't even have to be a person's body. It could be a location, like let's say I don't know, some kind of site, right? Or somebody's home. Anything that has basically, like chaos energy, just kind of like balance it back into itself, its original form. So yeah, land healing, human body healing, obviously, and anything in between. If it's alive, if there's life force, I can bring it back to its original state. That's basically what I do as a scalar harmonizer. What else? Okay, so there's a couple of other things, and I feel like I'm not gonna remember everything, but I'm just kind of off the top of my head. Okay, so there's other things. There could be ancestral stuff. There could be oversoul stuff that could kind of prevent a person from receiving the fullness of healing. Also, if a person is not open-minded and open-hearted, like if there's defense, nothing can get through that, So if somebody's like I don't want this, I don't feel like this is not for me, they're not going to receive the healing. They're blocking it. Another thing, this can only be, it's stuff that's welcomed, right? It can only work through welcoming. So I always have to have consent. Not even just that I can't, I also don't want to, unless you're like, please, this is what I want, as in you come to me and you're like, I want to get this done, right? I will never, I personally don't think it's okay to kind of impose, something on somebody if they're not asking for it. Yeah, there has to be some kind of consent. So yeah, when somebody's doubting, so the thing that can dampen the healing is if somebody doubts this, right? Or expects this, like I expect a certain kind of result. They're energies that will dampen it. They won't completely prevent those two things. They won't completely prevent the healing, but they will dampen it. As in, like, it's just, instead of full force, it's just kind of watered down. Does that make sense? Let me see. And I'm actually thinking about making a video to kind of get through that. Specifically, expectation and doubt. I'm thinking of making a video to have that made available for people who want to work with me that might be concerned about having those things block them, but I'm not sure. I feel like that should be made. We'll see. Just entrainment. What else? So yeah, getting back to oversoul. So sometimes you have to kind of like, if let's say you have a healing done and just nothing shifted, that could be your oversoul just kind of like, yeah, no, something needs to be seen for this healing to happen. So it is something definitely that I could also work with a person. The thing is, I used to look into what people's problems were when they would come to me. I try not to work with the mirror anymore. What I'm trying to do, as in like reflection from them to me, I'm trying not to do that anymore. I'm trying to kind of just hear, intuitively understand what a person is coming to me with, and intuitively from what they said, work with what they said, specifically kind of like, this is what I want you to work on, right? The person's coming to me and I'm like, okay, this is what I will work on, instead of kind of bringing my own, I don't know. I'm just trying to kind of work without mirroring. I'm trying to like, I don't know if that makes sense. Probably not, but like, just bear with me. I'm trying to kind of keep it pure. Try not to involve mirrors, unless, as in reading, unless specifically asked. It's a purity thing. It's this, technically there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just trying to kind of directly go to the issue. But I'll work however a person wants me to work with them. Absolutely. I'm just kind of like, from my perspective, where I'm at this moment in time, what I think at this moment in time. Just trying to stay away from mirrors at this point in time, just for now at least. But I'm not against it whatsoever. But yeah, so if a person comes to me for healing and let's say nothing really shifts, it could be, again, an oversoul thing, that the oversoul wants a person to see something first, to understand something first, to let's say integrate something first, and then and then the healing can unfold. So that could be an issue. Let me see. Yeah, no, I was gonna say ancestral and past life stuff. Yeah, that's just the oversoul stuff, honestly. All of that. It's kind of like something needs to be acknowledged, and then one can receive the healing. So yeah, I'm just trying to remember if there's anything that I'm missing. So yeah, I guess really what it comes down to, also, if something is in alignment, the work that I do, if something is not in alignment, it will not unfold. If something is in alignment, it will unfold. So it's basically for the betterment of the person and the closing out of the things that need to be closed out before being able to move forward, if that makes sense. So basically everything needs to be dealt with. This is a wholeness process. This is a holistic, it's a holistic version of healing. And I have goosebumps right now. It's not just, this is not surface level. This is not surface level stuff. This is full on. If there's any issues, they will unfold to be dealt with. So there is no bypassing. Basically, this is a complete thing. And yeah, I really hope I covered all the bases of what this is. So basically, again, I'm returning people completely back into harmony with themselves, and this could unfold over 3 days, depending on what it is, right? It could unfold over weeks. It could unfold over a couple of months, depending on how deep something is for somebody. Like if somebody's spine is completely curved, right? You don't just expect somebody to go, right? It's a slow, safe unwinding back to, their original blueprint itself. Everybody has a perfectly balanced original blueprint of themselves, no matter how it is that their body is currently expressing themselves. Anything else? I feel like I might have covered everything as far as what scalar harmonization is. I used to have people make appointments with me during the day, like kind of take out like an hour for the session and just take it easy for the rest of the day. Now I'm just making it happen to where the healing unfolds while they're sleeping, so they have plenty of time to kind of just like really integrate and wake up kind of feeling very different. Specifically like stuff like nervous system healing. My gosh, you guys. So it's something that I've offered for quite some time now, but I don't know. I didn't think I needed it, even though technically I'm ridiculously sensitive, and I don't know. I didn't put the two and two together where I I already understood I was going through a lot of like, like a long arc of full body healing, right? Because it's like when you're healing everything at once, all your stuff, there's just a lot that's being worked on simultaneously. So that's gonna just unfold very slowly. But the fact that I'm so sensitive, um, it was, I don't know what, maybe it was just meant for me to kind of discover the benefits of it eventually, which I just did. So, okay. About, let's say, when was this? Under 2 weeks ago, excuse me. Under 2 weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I haven't done a like specifically nervous system harmonization healing of myself. I haven't done that yet. Let me go ahead and try, see what happens. I figured, things are unfolding. I don't need to specifically target a specific thing. Oh my God, you guys, I cannot, I cannot believe how I felt. So, it unfolded while I was sleeping. Again, the work is done through my monad. I felt much better the very next day. The second day, even better. The third day, I was like, whoa, I've never felt like this before. Like, I understand what I provided for people, but I guess didn't personally experience. Again, I just didn't think I needed it. But I couldn't believe it. I'm somebody that feels literally everything in my environment, like literally anything and everything. A person's mood changing, I just, meh, right? And it's just like being aware of it. There's a lot of stuff that kind of goes with that, but like, it was not just the awareness of it. It was just like, it's always everything's so very loud, right? Like being aware of stuff just always so very loud, and it's kind of hard to navigate, right? Hearing everything, right? Hearing and feeling everything. And after the nervous system healing, it's like the stuff was there, but it was no longer affecting me at all. I have goosebumps right now. For the first time in my life, I don't know if you could see. I don't know. They're there, whatever. For the first time in my life, I was able to exist without having things bother me. Because again, everything's just loud all the time. You hear and sense things, like you hear and feel things all the time. My God. But no matter what's going on around me, I feel like I had the experience of what like regular people feel, which is like shit goes on around me, big whoop. That's how I felt. I felt finally relief where things went on around me, but they weren't, my nervous system wasn't like, I hear you. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, being sensitive is a lot. I couldn't believe I found the relief. I should have tried this sooner, but okay. Everything happens for a reason, right? Things unfold, I believe, in their own time. I'm just really glad that I tried it. Interestingly enough, I just felt so good. Well, you know what? Let me not go down that info road. I felt amazing. Holy crap. What I was gonna say was I ended up stabilizing some stuff without per se not intending. Whatever. Anyway, I'm just kind of recovering at the moment from stabilizing some big deal stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of share specifically the scalar harmonization, nervous system healing. My goodness, wow. But it obviously doesn't stop just there. It's literally anything and everything, whether it's something, regular medical establishment can or cannot heal. So if it's something that the medical establishment can heal, likely I could heal. If it's something they can't heal, likely I can heal. Now, I also don't want to give false hope, please. If interested in, if interested in this kind of work, please don't think that, don't expect, see again, that energy of expectation, don't expect that you will absolutely be healed, because I don't want to do that to you. Because not everything can be healed, major improvements can absolutely be made, but I just want to I just don't want to, the point is I don't want to give false hope. When I first started to do the work, the effects weren't as strong. Luckily, the people I worked with understood that I was just developing my skills. At this point, I am in love with the results. Again, I don't want to give false hope. I just want to really stress that. Because what if, what you want does not unfold? I just really want people to not like, this is the solution to my problem. It may be, it may not be, yeah, if interested, reach out to me. I may or may not be able to resolve what it is that you are dealing with. Again, it's literally almost anything. What I am basically giving a person, let's call it the structure within their system to follow, or the blueprint, or the map to follow to what their original health looks like within themselves. It is their own body that does the healing. Unless we're talking about monadic breath, that's a whole different thing. It's basically infusing life force, as in like, how do we put this? It's kind of magical, right? It's kind of like the breath of God, right? I'm not claiming to be God. What I'm saying is I am kind of the bridge to the life force specifically, but like very condensed form, it really does make a lot of a difference. People tell me that they experience, speaking of which, that they experience, again, this is not everybody, don't expect this. It's just something that I've been told, that people see white light, whether as they're falling asleep or in their dreams. The last person who I worked on said that he experienced a white plane with hexagonal shapes, like, honeycomb shapes against this plane, if I understood what he said correctly. But people usually say that they just see light. I myself have seen that light myself. It's hard to describe how I'm seeing it, because I'm seeing it in darkness, but it feels like bright light. Yeah. So again, I would just like to stress that I'm just a person that's kind of a bridge, and a mirror, I guess. These are just words, you guys. I'm just trying to communicate what's underneath the words. So, I'm always kind of trying to stress that, like, it's really hard to really explain in words this kind of stuff, but I'm here to bring things into harmony. Attainment of harmony is not always the smoothest either, right? I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. But yeah, my goal always is to try to heal a person's issue within one session. You may or may not need 2, 3, I don't know, more, but my goal is just to do the one session. Just sometimes people need a little extra. That's possible. I also don't charge a crazy amount of money. It's a bit easier, as in it costs me less to do this work now. So I am dropping my prices officially, I guess, as I'm making this video. After making this video, I'm going to hop on my website and chop the prices less. So, you know, just from my perspective, everybody's broke. And it takes a lot less for me to do this work, as in it takes a lot less out of me. It doesn't put me into, you know, because like before I used to absorb people's stuff, you know, you just learn as you go, you develop a little more and more. I'm no longer absorbing. That stopped in January. I'm so glad. Yeah, I no longer absorb. That's such a win. It's now the person's own system returning themselves back into balance. And again, sometimes a little bit of adjustment might be needed, or let's say a conversation with the oversoul needs to be had. I obviously facilitate that. I think I covered everything. I have absolutely wonderful results with people. I feel like there's nothing that I love more than doing this work. It makes me feel really happy to provide to people, you know, what something that they've been struggling with for, you know, sometimes all their life. And it's just like to be able to give a person their life back is amazing feeling, obviously. Yeah, I absolutely love, adore this work. And I think that's it. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Yeah, scalar harmonization. Gosh, I love it. Yeah. All right. I will see you when I see you guys. Have a good one.